Hello and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat, where we will be reviewing the 2021 season, where we finished 13th with 8 wins and 14 losses. Before we get stuck into it, what are your boys' thoughts on the season? Pato, what are your thoughts, mate? Just straight off the bat.
Very big disappointment. Obviously, a lot of us were expecting finals or either finishing not either 9th or 10th. But I feel like for an 8-win season and 14 losses, a few of those losses were very disappointing. Doggies come to mind with one of them. I feel like it was quite disappointing, but hopefully we can have a big preseason and look forward to 2022.
Absolutely, mate. We'll go more in depth sort of later on, but it was good just to get your brief thoughts straight up. Daff, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, just disappointing, really. We've taken a few weeks to reflect on the whole season. It's probably good we haven't done it straight away because we'll probably be a bit more pissed off. So, it's disappointing. 8 wins is not acceptable anymore. People say it's an improvement, but it's not really an improvement. The brand of footy we played the whole year was pretty boring and, big crap. So hopefully a new coach comes in and, a few new players and the players start pulling their fingers out in pre-season.
Bang. Speech, what are your thoughts on the season, mate?
Look, I just want to say it's a little embarrassing how Collingwood had the absolute shit show season they did, and we're still the bigger laughing stock. I think that's my biggest disappointment out of the season.
I did see Caro said last night, whenever it was, about how Collingwood's looking like a better sort of prospect of a club than more so for a coaching perspective than what our club is. But it's a bit of a joke. And of course we farewell of David Teague, obviously head senior coach. Is within the last week or so. He's been told his services are no longer required. What was your initial reaction on that, Jack? Was it? I mean, obviously, you can't be too surprised, but you still
definitely wasn't a surprise. It's just more a disappointment with how the club handled it, and especially now it's kind of biting them in the arse a little bit with Ross pulling out and a lot of coaches pulling out. So it's kind of seems like it's a little bit premature. And definitely think the club should have handled it a lot better than what they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on to that because I will be asking about the process that we are going through to find a new coach later on. Daff, what do you want to say, mate?
Yeah. Like the speechless said, it was probably expected for about a month before the season ended, probably from the St Kilda game or even before that, probably from the review. The target's been on David Teague's head, and unfortunately, he had to make way. And just the way they've treated him is just pretty disgraceful. Both the media, fans, and the club. But the only positive thing is it's over now. We don't have to wait another few weeks. It's just get a new coach and just get some culture going in the football club.
Yeah. Well said, mate. Pato.
As you said, Daff. I feel like it was probably better that they did it sooner rather than later, because I feel like the worst thing to do, especially for Teague's reputation, it wasn't very good. The way that they treated him was very poor, especially all the media coming out saying Teague is no longer the coach of the Carlton Footy Club next year, even though he was contracted for next year, which is kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of another story to talk about. But I feel like it was probably better to let him go at the moment, especially, there was no surprise. We can't really lose to North Melbourne, Gold Coast, lose to Port Adelaide by 95 points in a miles-throwing game. That's just not acceptable. So no surprise, but hopefully they have some sort of process going forward.
Yeah, well said, mate. As for the media and all that, obviously I did my assignment at uni on that. So like Tom Brown comes out and you can, from what you can understand from his tweets, he's sitting in the car park in his car tweeting this sort of stuff, that it's only, he's going to get fired today. It's only a matter of what time, and then you can get fired just 3 days later. So, the media certainly went after him, and the decision was probably going to be the same either way, but you could argue there's a bit of trial by media or whatever there, which certainly wouldn't have helped. And also Dale Amos also departed the club, obviously, with Brent Stanton. Any opinions on that? Any thoughts on that?
Good.
Anyone? Good. All right.
It's a fresh one. Yeah.
Sharp,
They were there for too long.
Yeah. Well said. All right, so just on our coaching drama, whilst we're talking about it, it was announced by the time this video goes out, within the last 48 hours, that the members of the subcommittee that it will help decide the next senior coach are obviously the newly appointed footy director, Greg Diesel Williams. We'll be leading the process alongside, you probably know these people better than I do, Tim Lincoln, Paddy Kinnersley, Pat, I would know her, David Parkin, CEO Kane Little, who I'll get your thoughts on later on, and head of football Brad Lloyd. It will be apparently, from what I understand, a 30 to 45 day process, from what I heard on Foot Classified. And obviously, we've just heard recently as well, Ross Lyon is officially out of the race, which is interesting because last night on Footy Classified, they were still talking about it and he was still trying to sell himself as much as he could, like he does every week on there. And it's sort of fascinating this whole time that everyone's been convinced the next coach would be old mate Ross the boss, and you know the media sort of they drove that, undoubtedly influencing the fans and members, which were all, you know, a lot of them were pretty convinced it was going to be him. This even started back before David Teague was even sacked, which is unusual. What's your initial reactions on that? Jack, you'll be pretty happy about it, so I've got your opinion first, mate.
Yeah, look, I'm happy that Ross isn't going to be our coach. I mean, I've said it for a while now that I just think it'd be a step backwards if we went for Ross in that sort of direction with that coaching. But I think also on the coaching process, 30 to 45 days, by the time, that's up, we're well and truly into trade period. And, it's not really attractive to potential, pickups that they go into a club that doesn't really have a direction, doesn't have a coach firstly. So that's a little concerning.
I believe that's what it was. Don't quote me on it. I believe that's what it was.
No, I saw it too. Don't worry. No, you're good. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's just the most concerning thing that, it'd just be nice to, have a direction, especially heading to trade period.
All right, we'll get stuck into some sort of positives of the year, if you can conjure up any. So I want to get your favourite game of the year. Ethan, what was your favourite game of the year, mate?
By far, it was the Essendon Carlton game. It was just the best day of the year, really. Two rivals going at it. We both had each other. MCG, sunny Sunday Arvo. Great game, right? Both sides playing pretty well.
High scoring as well.
Yeah.
Luke Parks with a bloody great tackle.
Yeah. It was just that physicality and McGovern throwing a few left hooks and and we just played pretty well that day.
The booze as well. Can't forget the booze.
Yeah, the booze.
Yes. Sardi had a ripper day, and it was just great walking out of the stadium, seeing those bastards walk out of the stadium with the sad face.
Yeah, it was good to see Essendon go out in the first league of finals. That was good. And everyone's comparing Hind and Sard. They've both played the same amount of finals this year, so that's interesting. Mitchell, favourite game of the year, mate?
I mean, like as Dav said, by far the Essendon one. But I also want to mention the St Kilda one. This one's a little bit different for me, just because to me, I feel like it was a full fourth quarter performance. I don't think we had a really bad quarter, or it may have been maybe a 10-minute patch. But usually with us, we have a full, really bad quarter. But yeah, I think just Charlie Curnow, seeing him back, fucking awesome. Harry Mackay and Charlie Curnow just
there it is.
Up in the forward line. Fucking awesome to see.
Oh, here we go.
Domino effect.
I mean, it's good that we have a few options, because a few years ago we were only choosing two from our wins. So I reckon this in Kilda one just because of the fourth quarter performance. Yep,
beautiful speech.
For me, it's got to be the Collingwood game. I think especially that last quarter. I assume you had that one. I'm sorry, Sam.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
To be down by 8 points.
22 games, but
to be down by 8 points at 3/4 time and then to keep them goalless and absolutely blow them out of the park in that last quarter it was good to watch. And also just a special mention to the Adelaide game that we all went to. I mean, Pato was somewhere else. We don't talk about that. But and then especially when Kruger kicked that goal, that was probably my favourite moment of the year.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I had Carlton Collingwood, same as you, Jack. Obviously, it's an emotional game as well, with the passing of Serge just a few days, however many days was prior. And there's that obviously good photo with Jack. So yeah, very emotional game. It was good to. I mean, any win against Collingwood, or any win for a Carlton supporters, perish. But any win against Collingwood was great win. So, beautiful. All right, top 3 players of the year, Jack.
I think it's pretty obvious. Our 3 All-Australian squad members, Walsh, Mackay, Wiedering. It's not really too many others you could pick, I don't reckon.
Sorry, I asked the question.
Phenomenal this year.
Sorry, I asked the question. Apparently, it's too obvious. Ethan. No.
Yep, top 3 players. Walsh, Mackay, Wiedering. Too easy, really. Like, come on now.
Can you change it up, Pato? Top 3, mate.
Yeah, right. I'll change it up. Walsh, Mackay, Wiedering.
different order.
I mean, let's be real. They've been by far the standouts, by far.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've got Walsh, Aaron, and Wiedering. So. All right, we'll go next. Hold on. Did you say 3 All-Australians? It's interesting.
Australian squad.
Yeah. All right, sweet. No, that's good. Just making sure. All right, moving on to
Nice and quick.
Well, what more is there to say? We've rambled on over them 3 every week, so let's move on.
Yeah,
this is your question that you want to put in there, Speed. So we'll go with you first, mate. MVP.
Well, I mean, I want to like sort of Pato said, I did want to split it into 2 sort of separate things. I mean, Walsh was by far our best player, by far, but then special mention I have to Jones and Silvani for valuable players. I think it was evident in games where they didn't play how much our structure fell apart without them. So yeah, definitely special mention to those guys.
Yep, no, well said, mate. Daff.
Samuel Walsh. That's all I got to say. The man is unbelievable. Top 5 Brownlow, I reckon. Hopefully, I'm fingers crossed, top 5. But he's had a great year. He's had a great year, and you'll be good with Adam Chera running past him next year.
Wait.
Hello.
To back up what Speechley said, I had Liam Jones. I feel like we are definitely a better side when he is in. Just still that comes to mind is that stat. He's only lost 1 out of 101. That's just unbelievable. In one season, that is unbelievable. I think that just shows how valuable he is, and he's our most valuable player.
Yeah, I think for a team dynamic, just for a setup sort of point of view, Liam Jones definitely. The North Hobart boy, I'm a bit Tassie biased, but love Liam Jones. Just the turnaround of his career, thanks to many people, but most notably, Josh Fraser and all that good stuff. So yeah, he's done really well. And, he's definitely my MVP for sure. All right, moving on to a bit of a different one. It's probably another obvious one, but I won't go to speech because he ruined it last time. Pato, most improved, mate.
Well, I feel like you boys may have been a little bit more like Mackay and Walsh, probably the standouts, but I put down Matthew Kennedy. I feel like he is a player from 2 years ago. Definitely was not near our best 22. He was playing as a fucking forward. That's just not where he's playing. And I feel like he really worked hard over that preseason last year. I feel like he played a few games last year in the mid and saw some glimpses, which was good to see. And I feel like T just went to him and said, all right, we're going to try and make you a big body midfielder. And I feel like he's really taken that with 2 hands. And hopefully that earns him a contract for next year and see how he goes.
Beautiful. What's that, mate? Speech?
Yeah, look, I'll steer away from Harry. I think he was phenomenal. He was I guess you guys you'll say, but I'll go with Stocker. Just from being moved to the back line, and he didn't really get many chances to play the last few years, and he really took that opportunity this year. Played most of the season, I think, and I think really locked down that role. I think he did a really good job this year.
Yep, certainly. Ethan?
Yeah, I agree with you both. I've gone a bit left field here, as we're not really saying Harry. I had Harry, definitely. Going from 20-something goals to the Carlton medalist is pretty fucking good. But I've got Matthew Owies.
Okay.
He didn't crack into the team last year only once. I think it was a Sydney game. And for a guy who's, basketball background and hasn't played much at the high level, he's done pretty well. He stringed together 13 games in a row from the Essendon game. So he's done well. Kicked a few bags of 4. So, yeah, Matty Owies.
Did he drop off towards the end of the season, do you reckon? Or
I feel that's just the usual drop off sometimes with blokes. It's not we're not wanting that, but I guess that being his first proper year at the AFL level, I guess you just let him do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Of course, got Harry here. Ranked first, obviously, total goals, Coleman medalist. Ranked fourth in total contested marks. Third in total marks inside 50, and first in marks.
Imagine when he gets fed properly.
Yeah.
Not
Seriously.
Yeah.
No,
you're spot
58
on.
goals over three a game. Sort of, it's hard to go past him. He's probably the obvious one, and then also Jack Silvani. I reckon he obviously played a lot more games as well. I think he's keeps improving and improving, which is great to see.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. All right, now put on your coach's hat. Carlton, 2022 areas to improve on, Pato. You're the coach, mate. What are you improving on? First is first. Like, just more specific, the better.
There are some people who call me Teague Junior. So I'll go through some.
Mate, we saw what happened to him. I don't think you should be close.
Actually, that's a good point. I'll keep away from that. But I feel like a genuine winger is probably one of our key priorities. I think that may be what a George Stewart might be. If not, maybe they might put a Chera. I don't know. I also have another mid, so that would probably be like an Adam Chera. And also a young key defender just to replace like a Liam Jones, because we really have no one else really down there. Weeders will be around for a few years to come. But as you said a few episodes ago, Sammy, you said about how Jones is like 30, 31. And
31, I think, yeah.
You kind of look at him and like an Ed Kerno, but they're around the same age. So
yeah. Beautiful. Well said, Pato. Speech. You go, mate.
I think the number one thing that we need to improve on is just our stability across the ground. Obviously, you can't help injuries, but if we're able to get as injury-free as possible, have a stable lineup, because I think, throughout the year, it was very, very rare that we had consistent, lineups throughout, several, 3-4 weeks in a row. So I think if we're able to fix that up, and also I had down defensive accountability that also ties into our need for, defensive stocks. I think, we don't really. We do lack that, locking down our, opposition forwards. And I think if we can fix that, then that'll go a long way as well.
Beautiful. Yeah, we definitely have struggled in terms of getting a full team, a full team out there. Like, we've had a pretty, big injury list, which has been, undoubtedly detrimental to our season. Ethan?
Yep, spot on with Speechley. Obviously, it's a hard thing to control, injuries. Unless, the little hammies, and that's with the fitness staff and their job. But my areas to improve on, the first dot points, everything. That's all.
The whole specific, I said. Specific.
That's literally there. Everything is there.
I believe it. And you're not wrong.
Yeah, just a lot of aspects. I think, midfield stock, and working out in the middle. Like, we've got some good players in there, and we seem to struggle against teams like North in the middle. Like, I know they've got some good, decent mids, but you can't be losing to those teams in the middle. It's a big issue because you got Harry and Charlie up forward, and if you're getting more clearances than the other team, you probably get a win. So, just midfield and defensively, defensive transition. I'm sure that'll fix with a new coaching staff, and that was the only con. One of the only cons of Teague's game, that and probably selection. So, and improved selection integrity. That's one as well.
And what do you mean by that? Do you want to elaborate a bit more on that with the selection?
Wow, you got Levi Casbolt playing the first 9 weeks of the season when your season's still alive. And then you play guys like Honey in round 20. What's the point? What's the point?
That's spot on.
It's like he had his. Like, I'm not having a go at him. Like, I love Teague, you're up, but you cannot in this, business of AFL football, you cannot have your favourites. You cannot have your favourites. And it's just guys, Fisher and Martin coming in without even playing a scratch match or a VFL match. It's just not good enough. You don't see any other club in the league do that.
Especially if they play like that. Like, they're not really.
Yeah, they're not.
It's not Sam Walsh. Yeah, it's not Chris Jones. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty better example. Yeah. For me, I've got off-field. It's obviously a big area to improve on, which it looks like it is slowly but surely with Luke Sayers and whatever. Regardless of what opinions were of him weeks ago, it does seem like he's at least communicating, which I think is a big thing. Like obviously the emails and all that sort of stuff. It's been really good. So yeah, I'll get your boys' opinion on that. So Luke Sayers, obviously with all members, we all received the same emails and all that sort of stuff. How have you felt with his communication and just the the clarity? Like, go you, Heath.
Yeah, I feel like there's been 2 weeks he's been president, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah,
two,
3.
4.
The 2 to 3 weeks, he's had more communication with myself and the members than Lagudisha. That's like literally, it's been terrible. Like I reckon in 2014 to 2018, I didn't know who our president was. I didn't know. And that's terrible. You got key names like, I don't know, Jeff Kennett's been under the spotlight lately, but those names. You got Kennett, you got Maguire's, your Koshis and all that type of stuff. And then our president just hides,
They are media personalities too.
Yeah, but
I know what you mean, though. Yeah, I
you go
to
an open training. Where is he? Like, why is he not around the fans?
Kane was always there. I see him there a bit.
Yeah.
I've never seen. Yeah, I've never seen Mark that much. But
good
said, mate. Love him. All right, we've got a speech now because I think you had a bit of a different opinion. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not gonna get up and party at the moment because really it's the bare minimum to communicate with your members, isn't it? I mean, Lagudisha didn't do it, and
but at least he's doing it. Yeah,
a party because Sayers is communicating. That's what he should be doing. But in saying that, like there is right. How do I say it? It is looking promising. I'll say that we could turn it around. But I'm saying before something truly actually happens, I'm not sure there's too much to celebrate at the moment.
Yeah, I get it is a basic thing, communicating to members, and it's something that you would think it's a given for all clubs to do. But it wasn't really happening that much, as Ethan said. So I guess just we can only judge him off the last fortnight of
doing it from the start to like the video communication. I really like that.
That was good too. Yeah,
it's more like a private. Feels like more of a one-on-one talk when you listen to him. So
do you still feel? Again, it could be a me thing. I don't know. But do you still feel? It's not like hearing, even though you're a member, it's not exclusive because the same time my email goes off is the same time it's on Facebook. So it's not like it's an exclusive thing anyway. But that's probably me just picking at a negative. Mitchell.
Yeah, I feel like there are some positives and negatives towards Sayers. I feel like our past presidents, especially Lagudisha, he's done some pretty good stuff with the positives because I feel like just off field, I feel with some sponsorships and also what he's done off field, it's been good. And I reckon that's one of our pros definitely with our club. And I feel like Sayers, as you boys have said, he's been great with our members, just actually communicating to us. Like, we don't pay money to not hear from the club. We want to hear even if it's I don't mind getting 100 emails a week from the club. Like, I just want to hear whatever is happening in the club. I want to know. I want to be aware of it. Just so we kind of just are in the loop because it's not like we don't pay our hard-earned money. Like, we do pay our hard-earned money to watch this club. So yeah, I feel like he's had a good start for the first couple of weeks that he's been there. So it's it's great signs ahead.
All right, moving on. Ethan, you can probably take this away, mate. Sort of trade news and opinions. What's sort of going on? You tell us, mate.
Yeah, so obviously there's names thrown around at this time of the year for teams that have been knocked out and teams that are still in the finals. And 2 names that have pretty much been linked to Carlton over the last few weeks is Adam Chera and George Hewitt. Chera wanting to come home to Victoria and Carlton being one of those teams that has the cap space and probably the picks or whatever we're going to trade. Like, we'll be able to make the trade compared to other teams. And then a George Hewitt who's hasn't been offered a new contract, so I'm not sure if he's restricted or unrestricted. Hopefully he's restricted. Okay, so he will be making a trade for him if we do. But Sydney have been having a salary cap squeeze, obviously, with a few players, Dylan Stevens, Luke Parker and George Hewitt, obviously may be leaving at the end of the year. So what do you guys reckon? I think they're 2 pretty decent targets. I just don't want to overpay them.
Yeah. It does make me scared when I hear about Chera maybe choosing Carlton because of their salary, like the amount of space in the salary cap, because that's sounding like it might be a 850K.
Ooh.
And I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah, I think Tom Morris was saying something yesterday.
750.
Don't believe like what they're saying about the salary.
Yeah.
Like they said, the salary will probably not be as much as Freo pay. I think what are Freo paying now?
I don't know.
It'd be
I
up there.
wouldn't have a clue.
I think for the recent contract extension, it was pretty high, being a young prospect. But
Yeah.
they said 600, 650. So I'd take him for that much. I'd honestly take him for that much. Especially.
Yeah, I agree on that about you and on the salary, because I think, I am sick of us, paying players on potential, as I've said a number of times. Like obviously Chera's a good player, but then he still hasn't hit his potential. He still hasn't, developed into a true star. So like we would still have to, get that out of him. That's also why I'm scared of, paying overs in terms of a trade for him, because, like I think pick 6 is overs as it is, let alone, potentially giving more. So I think, I just hope the club is smart and doesn't, get finessed just to get, the player into the club.
Yeah.
Carlton, what do you reckon, mate? What do you reckon's ideal trade for a Chera? He's 21, midfielder, probably progressed more than his draft rival as such in Paddy Dow, in my opinion.
Yeah,
developed.
fair call.
But
I agree with speech. I agree exactly with what Jack said. We do have a bit of a habit of but like an issue of bringing in players and almost not, destroying their careers or playing them out of position. So it'd be interesting. But yeah, as long as we don't, pay overs for him and give away too much. So yeah, I completely agree with what Jack said.
I got a question for each of you. One question: who, apart from those two, would you want at the club? Like a logical choice. Speechly, you start, mate.
I've been hearing rumors today specifically about also with Sydney's salary cap squeeze, Jordan Dawson might be pushed out as well out of the Sydney back line. So I think that he is definitely could be a potential target. Obviously, there's been no links to Carlton, whatever. This is just me, saying a player I would like. I think he'd be very good. He's young and he would be definitely very handy to take over from Liam Jones.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think
isn't he from South
perfect on the wing for Carlton, I reckon. But that's just my thinking. Hopefully, we can fit those guys in the salary. Mitch Pattinson, what do you reckon, mate?
There was a bit of conversation about Braden Fiorini from Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago, and I'm hearing a bit maybe if they get a fit Matt Rowell, Tuke Miller's been great this year. Maybe Noah Anderson through the midfield, David Swallow if he has a few more years. Maybe Fiorini might. I don't know where he's from, but I have a feeling he might be from Victoria. I mean, I might totally be wrong. This is a total guess.
Yeah,
but,
I think
he might. Hey.
I think he's Victorian.
Oh, cool. Okay, so like if he's from Victoria, he might want to come home. So who knows? I'm hearing a bit about Fiorini, and I feel like he would be a very handy player. So and I feel like he would be a good winger because he played a little bit of wing for Gold Coast. He moved a little bit more as an inside midfielder when Rowell moved to a different posse. But I feel like he would be a good winger. So
yeah, definitely a good option. Sammy, anyone in particular?
I'll go with Lipinski.
So what's the reason? Yeah, no, it doesn't shock me. He's been linked.
No, right.
What's the reason?
Well, I mean, it's a hard midfield he's trying to crack into with the Doggies. You got McRae and Bontempelli. I think he will add. How tall is he? 186, 187. So sort of that good sort of height.
Yeah.
And quickly, to all viewers and followers and subscribers, all that shit.
All that shit.
Sorry, you're not shit. You're all beautiful people. We're going to be doing every week of the trade period. I think it's still 2 weeks this year. I'm pretty sure.
We'll the trade man, mate.
Short little wrap up of each week and what's going on around the AFL. So that'll be trade period time after the grade.
And also we'll touch on our potential draftees who we're looking at. And also we'll do an episode after on who we actually draft, which would be exciting.
Yep.
Beautiful. There it is.
Stay tuned.
Sounds good, boys. All right. If you aren't already, follow us on all the socials. We're on all of them. Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, LinkedIn, Snapchat, TikTok coming soon. TikTok coming soon, I believe, isn't it, Ethan?
I think we said that about round 12. So
round 12.
We'll get onto it.
We're like the Carlton Footy Club. There's full of letting you down. All right. That's all from me. Is that all from you, boys?
Yeah, mate.
And as always, I don't have my scarf today, but as always, go the mighty Baggers.
Have the boys.